What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. Today on the table, we have another KeyForge Age of Ascension Vault Tour Finals game from Origins Game Fair 2019, held in Columbus, Ohio. This is a best of 3 adaptive format. Ben and AJ have switched decks. You can see their decks in the description below on YouTube. You can jump on over to the Master Vault, see all the cards in their decks. They have taken the time here before this recording to look at each other's deck lists, figure out the decks, and we're ready to go. And Ben lost, so he got to choose who goes first. So that would be AJ going first, using Ben's deck here, dropping a Blood Shard Imp on the table. And now Ben's going to go with a Lab Work, get an Amber, archive a card. And if Ben does win with AJ's deck, that will be them moving on to a Game 3. And obviously in that case, it's AJ's deck that has won twice. So then they will bid on that deck to determine who plays it in Game 3. So we have a Brain Eater drop down there. Now we have a Life for Life, sacrificing the Blood Shard Imp to destroy the Brain Eater, gaining an Amber off that. Now we have a Furtive Investors. He'll gain an Amber. Obviously, your opponent doesn't have more Amber or any KeyForge, so that just gets him an Amber. And then a Redlock dropping down there. If no creatures are played on a turn, at the end of the turn, you gain an Amber. He also has Skirmish, I believe. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe. We have lots of KeyForge content on the channel. I recorded a bunch of games from Origins, also games from other tournaments. I have deck unboxings for Age of Ascension, and I will be going to Gen Con thanks to our Patreon supporters. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so in the description below. So Nerve Blast, deal 1, dealing 2 damage. And Bren the Fanatic giving an Amber there. We have too much to protect just for the Amber. And we have an Umbra coming into play on the right flank. Sounds like AJ's going Shadows again. We got an Oubliette purging Bren the Fanatic. That's a nice hit. And then we have a Nerve Blast killing Umbra, stealing an Amber. And Redlock will reap. And at the end of the turn, he does gain an Amber since he played no creatures. Thanks to Redlock's ability. AJ's up to 5. So far, it looks like AJ's taking a commanding lead here with the deck that isn't his. And Bouncing Death Quirk will destroy Redlock and obviously get discarded since he can't continue the effect. And we have a Library of Babel put into play there, and I believe that's it. And now we have a Dis turn on AJ's side, dropping down Lash, Anguish, and Tesmal. And another Nerve Blast here, stealing 1, dealing 2 damage to Tesmal. And we got Umbra, then Life for Life to kill Anguish and sacrifice Umbra. And just like that, we're tied up again at 4 Amber. So some good back and forth here. And Ronnie Wristclock stealing an Amber. And we have a Hidden Stash gaining an Amber, putting AJ into check. Archiving a card. Binding Irons giving 3 chains to AJ. And a Shrek comes into play, captures 3. Followed by Yerk, forcing a discard, which is Oubliette.
No, I'm discarding it.
Oh.
To your.
Oh.
Just
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Looks like AJ thought he was playing Oubliette, but it was just a discard off Yerk. AJ just trying to find his chain tracker tokens or card. He's just going to use 3 blue tokens there on the top of the deck to signify chains. And AJ is going to double 1-2 punch here onto Charette, gaining 2 amber for that play, and then getting the 3 back that was captured on Charette. So it'll be a stun and then a destroy. Loses a chain at the end of the turn, and he is in check with 8. Ben still hasn't seen his Lash of Broken Dreams yet.
Double miasma.
So we got Miasma twice, gaining 2 amber, so AJ will skip his KeyForge step. Ben sitting at 5 amber. It looks like it's going to be his turn there. And AJ does know Ben has a too much to protect in that deck, of course, since it's his own deck, and he's played it through 6 rounds of Swiss and all the way up to the finals here on day 2. And he's going to look through the discard, kind of see what's been played already. So let's be careful. Don't want to go too high in amber when your opponent could just drop down at too much to protect. And then it turns the tables. You speed up their game, sets you back a little bit. And AJ's going Dis, lashing with the Lash of Broken Dreams. +3 on the key costs for Ben, and then dropping down an Ember Imp legacy card there. So Ben cannot play more than 2 cards on the turn while Ember Imp is on the table. AJ doesn't want to gain any Ember there. He probably looked through the discard pile, realized there was no too much to protect, and doesn't want to walk into it too hard. He just wants to do a safe forage at 6 is all he wants here. And we got Yerk fighting the Ember Imp, taking 2 damage. We got an Amber Imp coming down. If a creature reaps, they'll be stunned. Soul Keeper on the Amber Imp. So if the Amber Imp is destroyed, he'll destroy the opponent's most powerful creature. Then we have a Blood Shard Imp, who when a creature reaps, they'll be sacrificed. And an Onyx Knight coming into play, not destroying anybody since there is no odd-powered creatures. And AJ forges the first key of the game here at 6. 2 remaining Amber. So AJ going Shadows, dropping down a Sucker Punch Alpha card, gaining an Amber, dealing 2 damage to Yerk, finishing him off. Allows him to archive Sucker Punch. Looks like AJ is maybe debating Reaping. Of course, he'll get sacrificed because of the Blood Shard Imp, but he may fight into one of them instead, but he'll trade with either the Ember Imp or the Blood Shard Imp. So he's going to Reap and just sacrifice himself, gaining an Amber. Then play a Ronnie Wristclocks to steal an Amber, get Ben off check, and put himself to 5. And American's top card of Ben's deck, hoping for a card with an Amber. And it is Help from Future Self. So he gets an Amber. He'll obviously fail to search for the Time Traveler, but he'll get to shuffle his discard into his deck, which I'm sure he is happy about. So that was a good hit. Puts him into check with 6. Gets rid of the Help from Future Self to the discard pile, so he can't cycle his deck now. We haven't seen the Time Traveler from Ben yet. It's either still in the deck or he has it in hand. And Ben is going Dis. He's going to Reap with the Amber Imp, who will sacrifice him. Use Soul Keeper to destroy Merkins. Puts himself in a check with 6. Amber Imp will Reap and sacrifice itself, putting him to 7 Amber. Onyx Knight is going to Reap, putting him to 8.
Is there a upgrade on the Ember Imp? Yeah, the okay. The Soul Keeper. No, it killed the Merkins.
So the judge just making sure that the Soul Keeper was used there. And we got Shrek coming into play, capturing 3, getting AJ off of check. And there's the other Lash of Broken Dreams hitting the board. That's what Ben needs to see now to slow AJ down and kind of get back into this game here. Get his first KeyForge, sorry. And AJ's going to try to make that as hard as possible here. Did he draw into any discs? Does he have any discs in his archives? Can he go disc here and Lash Ben to slow him down another turn? Or does he just do disc next turn and make Ben pay 9 for that key using the Lash? And just worry about getting cards out of his hand now with a different house and maybe getting up to 6 himself at least. Preferably 9 with the Lash across the board. So he is going disc now, playing Call of the Week, gaining an Amber. That gets rid of Charette. Gets all that Amber back, goes to 7. He lashes Ben. Stall another turn. And that's all he's going to do. Check at 7. By destroying that Charette, he makes Ben's disc turn that much more weak. We actually have a Shadow's turn, Ben Rot Venom, or Bone Rot Venom, sorry, on Ronnie Wrist Clock. So we got a Miasma play there. Gaining an Amber. Going up to 10 Amber on Ben's side. Check, obviously. AJ's not going to forge because of the Miasma, of course. Now, AJ probably has to go disc here to use that Lash to make Ben pay 9 for the key. The only problem is he obviously only had 1 discard last turn, that Call of the Week that he played. And he may have not drawn into another discard, so that'd be a pretty weak turn. Not playing much out of hand, not building his board, not getting any Amber himself. If he can steal some on this turn, that's also good. If he can steal maybe 2 or 3, that's pretty much the same as playing the Lash, except for he'll get some cards out of hand. And also gain some Amber himself, but he could also steal the Amber later. Took his archives. He's going Brobnar here. We got a Tremor on the Onyx Knight, stunning him. We got a 1-2 punch to kill, since he already was stunned. Gets an Amber for that. And he's going to go Bingle Bang Bang. Followed by a Foozle. And a little Rapskull, so a creature must fight if able. And we got a 6 Forge for Ben. 4 Amber remaining. AJ's in check with 8. We're tied at a key here. And we got the double Schuler steal here, bringing AJ down to 6 Amber. Putting Ben in check. He gets lashed, of course, so now AJ cannot forge during the forge key step, since his keys are +3. Now we know there's a Hysteria in Ben's deck, so he could bounce those Schulers, as we've seen AJ do many times before in videos on this channel from Origins. So he could use Bingle Bang Bang. Doing some fighting. He's going to Gongoozle Schuler, though. Get an Amber. And that'll force Ben to discard a card at random out of hand. Maybe he'll hit that Too Much to Protect or a Hysteria. Time Traveler! Another good hit. Ben seems relieved that something else wasn't hit, though. And we get a Lash, of course. So Ben does not forge his second key yet. AJ in check with 7. So Schuler's going to fight Ronnie Wrist Clocks. Yeah, little Rapskull forcing the fight. So Ben not able to reap with the other Schuler that has 3 damage on it. They're just going to do the Hysteria first. He plays them to steal 2. Yeah, I figured that was coming, and that's what Ben was worried about, getting hit out of hand was the Hysteria. And then the Lash raising AJ's key cost by 3, putting himself in a check for 8. And Ben drawing out his deck. So soon he'll get back around to that Help from Future Self, the Time Traveler. We know he has too much to protect in hand now. We haven't seen it yet, I don't believe. And everything else is in the discard pile or in play. So Furtive Investors. Ben has more amber, so he gets an amber for playing the card, an amber for the ability, and 1 for the KeyForge. So now he's up to 7. Ronnie Wristclock stealing 2 ambers since Ben is over 7. Or 7 or more, sorry. Putting AJ to 9. And a hidden stash, gaining an amber, gets to archive a card. But he's walking into it too much to protect here, as we know. Which I don't think is a good idea. This could be a mistake. I'm pretty sure he still has it in hand. We'll find out shortly. And Oubliette gets discarded. And Ben gets the Forge for 6. Second key here. And he could steal 4 amber here off of too much protect, plus get 1 for playing it. Put himself at 5. Very close to sealing it here. If he has it in hand. Oh, he's actually going Logos. Maybe he played it already. He's actually going to draw a card. Shuffle up the deck. Since he has to draw, there's no cards left in the deck. This card pile gets shuffled up.
What zone is that Shadows cards in? Perched. It's technically a face down zone.
The judge is making him flip the Bren Fanatic since he is perched. Should be face down, I guess. Should actually be under the faction card there, actually, is where the rule book recommends to put purge cards. What did Ben draw into? A Cutthroat Research, steal 2. Get an amber. I think that's what he just drew into. Wow. Nice top deck. And we got a lab work, gaining an amber. Archiving a card. He accidentally drops a Professor Sutterkin on the table, which he's most likely going to play this turn anyway. And yep, plays him on the right flank. He might have a Titan Librarian in hand. He'd rather put down first, maybe? So what might be happening here? Yeah, looks like he's...
Unless your opponent allows it, that would be a missed opportunity of playing that last card.
Yeah, it's already on the board. It sounds like the judge is saying that has to be played. Unless the opponent allows it to go back. I don't know what the official rule is. If you take a hand off the card, as it said, or once it's played down. I don't know, but... Ah, I see. Archimedes. Oh, I'm not sure why I didn't put it against Professor Sutterkin there, but... I guess archiving Schulers aren't bad either. Oh, man. There's a Titan Librarian. I thought so. And there's another Professor Sutterkin. Wow. Loads up the board with the Logos turn. Usually we see AJ play that lineup very early. He gets all those Logos cards on the board very fast, putting the pressure on the opponent. And here Ben sees it on basically his last hand of the deck. And a build up to this big Logos turn. And at the end of the turn, he archives a card there off Titan Librarian after drawing cards. And AJ gets to forge his second key. 2 amber remaining. Ben at 4 amber. Both at 2 keys. And AJ's going to choose Shadows, take his archives.
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm 1 card short. That's because archives always happens.
And there's that Sucker Punch. He took out of the archives, gains an amber. Destroys Archimedes. Gets to archive it again. And we have a Nerve Blast, stealing an amber. Dealing 2 to a Professor Sutterkin. To get rid of the neighbor on Titan Librarian there. That's a smart call. And then Ronnie Wristclocks will trade with the other Professor Sutterkin. AJ knows the threat those guys are, just drawing into cards. Lots of good cards in AJ's deck, of course, that Ben is playing with right now. Seeing more of them is a bad thing for your opponent, of course. So AJ's taking the lead here with 4 amber, 2 keys. Over to Ben for his turn. 3 amber, 2 keys. But he does have creatures on the board.
Going to do one of those.
Sounds like Ben's going Logos again. Starts off with a Library of Babel. See, he has Time Traveler in his hand right now, too. So he did draw back into it. He reaps with the Titan Librarian. Time Traveler gains an Amber. He's going to draw 2 cards. Now he's at 5. He drawn to some other Logos goodness. Looks like he already has some other Logos cards in hand. Will he be able to get to check with 6 here? Will he force AJ to name Dis? And we got a discard on the Bouncing Death Quark. There's no other creatures to destroy. He's going to play Labwork. There's that 6th Amber. Get to archive another card. Putting a total of 3 in his archives. See, he's got Hysteria back again. Those 2 Schulers on the board. Pretty sure that's Hysteria in his hand. And he looks like he's archiving a discard there. So maybe he's got 3 discards in the archives. So yeah, he safely can name Dis and use Lash of Broken Dreams when needed, looks like. And we got a Schuler on the other side, stealing 1, getting Ben off of check. We got the Lash, raising the key cost. So AJ is now stuck. He's got a Dis creature on the board, Dis artifact. He didn't play any other Dis there. He only drew 1 card. He has 1 card in the archives. Let's hope he doesn't get stuck in that Dis Lash of Broken Dreams loop here. And Ben probably sees that and realizes he just has to destroy Schuler, which makes it much harder for AJ to get this game into check here. If he doesn't have anything to gain Amber while he's using the Lash of Broken Dreams. Are we going to see the Schulers do a couple reaps here? And a Hysteria play? Are we going to see a Schuler fight a Schuler, take it off the board, do a Hysteria, come back in, steal 1, play a bunch of discards, Lash? He does take his archives. He does name Dis. He is going to reap twice. Yep, he does reap twice here. Gets 2 Amber. Yeah, he definitely drew back into that Hysteria. And there it is. And that's it. AJ says you got it. He knows it. And they're going to go to game 3, where I did record, actually, the bidding process on AJ's deck. Since AJ's deck won 2 games, it'll be his deck that's chosen. So stay tuned for game 3 out of the best of 3, where we see them bid for the deck, who will take the deck, how many chains, if any, will they take, and who will win it all. Subscribe, hit that alarm bell button so you don't miss when it's posted. Check out the other KeyForge videos on the channel. Thanks to everyone who supports us on Patreon, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.